We
have
big
news.
we bought land. 6 years ago when Eugene and I got together, he asked me what my dream was to do one day, and I said I want to build a resort. And he was like, that's like so far out of reach, like why so random? I'm like, I don't know, I just think it'd be cool to have a resort. And fast forward to now, and that dream is becoming a reality on a smaller scale, but still the gist of it.
Soon. So in February of this year, we came to Tamarindo and started kind of looking for land, and then Trudeau came out in the news and said everybody has to come back.
Canadian travelers should return to Canada via commercial means while it is still possible to do so. Let me be clear. If you're abroad, it's time for you to come home.
So we thought about it for exactly
3 minutes.
something like that, and went to the stores and bought groceries.
Basically, we looked for land in Tamarindo originally, but there's no water here. They weren't giving out water letters, which is like a big problem here. And we couldn't find like a piece of land we were really happy with. Then obviously COVID hit, and we had to take a little pause and rethink the situation financially and mentally, because obviously we have a family, we had to put that first. So it took us like a few months actually in that situation to actually rethink it, I'd say, and reassess it. And then in April, we got invited to Nosara by our really good friends now. And they took us and showed us all of Nosara, and we ended up staying there for 3 months. Just like that on a whim. We fell in love with the place, and May, so like
May.
the following month, we were like, why don't we just buy land here? And so we started looking for land. Here, our architect and engineer are discussing this land.
More container right here. And when you will see complete, you can see, okay, yes, this is good for the project or not.
February 2019, our nanny in Toronto, Jordana, decided she's gonna take 2 weeks vacation to Miami. And I'm like, okay, we need to go on vacation too. And so we go on vacation to Costa Rica. And while we were here, I took Michael for a walk, and like there's Remax offices in Tamarindo, all these types of places, and like with signs, just like we have in Toronto for what's available, what's on sale, what's for lease. And I was like, wow, the prices here are pretty like reasonable compared to like what we pay in Toronto. And so I walked back to the beach where Eugene was with Michelle, and I'm like, I think we should buy a condo in Costa Rica. And what did you say to me?
What the hell's wrong with you?
And I said, no, I think it's a really, really good idea. I'm like, look at the prices. And we were only here for 2 more days. I'm like, let's just go look at some condos, and then you can go home and do all your engineering research nonsense that he needs to do. Went home, and 2 weeks later in Toronto.
I do the math.
Yeah, I'm the dreamer. He's the math person. And 2 weeks later, we put an offer in on this condo. We bought the condo, and then May, me and Eugene came back to like set it all up and get it ready to like Airbnb. So buying the land wasn't out of nowhere. Like that was kind of the initial dream, but Marie was the one who told us ease into it, buy a condo first, see how you play it out, like see how you like it here. And it was a good idea because we learned a lot of the pura vida-ness of Costa Rica through that. But then we were like, still, no, we're ready. We like, that's why this year when we came here, we had every intention of buying land. Like when we came here, we started looking for land right away.
So initially, our friends bought their piece of land. They were looking to buy the piece of land. So we thought, we asked around for some real estate agents. It's not, there's no MLS system. So you have to go from place to place, so Colville Bankers, Century 21, RE/MAX offices individually, and then they give you their listings. They show you their listings, but not competing listings. As much as they tell you that some of them are competing listings, they're not.
It's really difficult.
It's yeah, but the agents are really, really, really good. They're top class. They will support you throughout the wholesale, even hook up your utilities, open up your bank account. We had nothing but good experiences. So we went looking for land. The first couple of lots we saw, and land is huge here. It's at least 1,000
square meters, which is like 10,000 square feet, I found out. So it's like humongous pieces.
Basically times 10.
Yeah.
And they're huge pieces, so you really have to see what you're going to build. You have to envision it. You can't just come and pick something, because it all looks good or all looks bad, depending on...
You have to sit on your dirt.
Yeah, you have to sit on your dirt. It all kind of depends on your vision. If you don't have one, you'll have a very hard time picking anything. 'Cause everything just looks bad. It's just a bunch of trees with random dirt and mosquitoes. Lots of mosquitoes.
So when we got shown about like 10 pieces of land, we brought it down to our top 3. And from there, our top piece of land was completely the one that was like the last on the list at the very end. But we were like so for this land. We were like, this is the piece we're gonna get. This is the best piece. So we are looking at land again. We are here at another piece that it's basically like a 5-minute walk from the beach. We call it the triangle piece because it literally looks like a triangle. So we're here looking at that. And then one day we went to La Luna in Nosara. It's like a restaurant on the beach. And we got a little bit drunk.
Okay, again.
Okay, picture?
No, video, go.
Oh, sure. Like shots. Tell me what you want. Better have my money. And I go to pee and I come back and I'm like, babe, I have come up with what we're gonna build. And he was like, calm down, you always do this. And I'm like, no, I came up with the idea. This is the land we need to buy, the last land on the list, because it'll work with our idea. So right now we're heading to Surfing Nosara, which is a real estate agency here. So we can put in an offer on a piece of So we can put in an offer for the piece of land that we saw and liked. So that's what we're heading to do right now, to basically negotiate on this land and sign all the paperwork and do all the logistical, boring stuff. That's his department.
Very exciting.
He does the logistical stuff, I do the dreaming. So we're here and it's exciting.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It felt very risky at the beginning. Foreign country, a real estate agent that we knew had a good feeling. You really have to trust your gut feeling when you do these things, because you don't know the people you're dealing with. Obviously there's due diligence. I got references from the lawyer, made sure that he talked to his clients. Their clients had nothing but good things to say. The real estate agent was just good. Because he facilitated the whole thing, we kind of gained our trust, and then the lawyers and then everybody else followed. It's a complicated process, but it's not. It's complicated when it's new, but then once you figure it out, it becomes really simple. Like anything in life, just have to do it.
So we are here exploring our land that we made an offer on from the bottom of it. It's super cool. Like, we're basically in a lush green zone here. Like, no, you're not allowed to build in this area. So let me show you the land. This is the green zone that the property looks down into. So that is super cool. It's totally lush green jungle. This fence is Green zone, our property. Green zone, our property. Okay, we're leaving our land now.
Don't touch any plants. Trying to save the phone.
Eugene just fell down there. Good save.
Hey Kyle.
Hey, Eugene, how you doing?
Doing good. How's it going?
Good. Is Catalina there?
She's here. No, she's here.
Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to let you guys know I just heard back from the sellers and they have agreed to...
Oh, great news.
So, we are in the most magical little place right now, and I just had a feeling. I was like, what are the chances that our real estate agent is going to call when we're up here and we get to film our excitement in this beautiful spot? And then Eugene's phone is just vibrating, and I'm like, oh my god, your phone is vibrating, and he's like, oh my god, relax, nothing's happening. He's like, it's not the agent, and I'm like, no, it's gonna be him, and it was him. No. And he called, and he said they accepted our offer. Yeah. So we just got the land, so now we can now there's still like a bunch of work ahead, but basically it's like one good news for the day. We got it, we got it, we got it, Hello. So, part of our land closing situation, Eugene has to leave right now. We're driving right now actually to the airport because Eugene is leaving. Hi, Michelle. Eugene is leaving to Canada for 3 weeks because he has to transfer money to close the deal. And he has to quarantine for the first 2 weeks, so he has to come 3 weeks before closing so he can transfer the money after he's out of quarantine. So this is one of the many adventures we've had to encounter with this land closing. It's something we weren't expecting to do, but the bank has these strict policies and we've tried absolutely everything to transfer this money here. Through wire transfer, through bank-to-bank transfer, through power of attorney. We've tried absolutely everything, and there's no way of doing this other than Eugene flying to Toronto. So that's been fun. So I am here in Costa Rica for 3 weeks with the kids by myself, and Eugene is off to Toronto quarantining for 2 weeks and then going to the bank. So fun times, and we'll take you through it. So Eugene is still in Toronto, but I have signing authority, so I am going to the lawyer's office now to finally close on the land.
The buyer accepts the sale in these conditions, and the price of sale is that there are any boundary problems with the property, any occupants, any possessors of any kind.
Official land owning paperwork is signed. Officially Costa Rican land owners. Canadian at heart though, always. We always wished that there was like a YouTube series or something on how anybody can just go buy a piece of land and do it, but there was nothing like that we could find in a country where you're actually allowed to buy land on your own, like here. We're trying to do this now for you guys and following our journey along through the buying of the land. Basically, that's what we're doing now. We're making this series so people can do it and come join us here in our jungle paradise. And that's what we're doing here. So the next video will kind of be our design process with the architect and going through all of that. And hope you follow along.